Reaction has been swift and overwhelmingly negative. Message received: ladies, exercise harder, be thinner for your man, and then thank him for it.
In the age of social media, we have seen people getting canceled left and right for things that they have done or said that people didn't like. Well, it looks like brands are not immune from this treatment either, with plenty and plenty of brands getting canceled online all the time for pissing off customers. Hey, what's up, IRers? I'm your host, Mackenzie Smith, and today I'm going to be listing the top 10 brands that were destroyed on social media. If you're new here, you should definitely subscribe, as we make videos like this every single day. And without further ado, let's get right into the cancellations. Starting off with number 10, we have Kat Von D. Kat Von D is a brand that has been cancelled because of the actions of its owner. One of the many times Kat has been cancelled on Twitter was when it was revealed that she was not going to vaccinate her child. After this, people got incredibly angry, vowing to never buy her brand again. People even went so far as to make dupe lists for all her products and find loopholes that would allow them to return recently purchased items from her collection. She's also been cancelled because of her beef with Jeffree Star. She made a video publicly ending their friendship where she calls him out for essentially just being a shady person, and since then the two of them have been clapping back and forth to each other over social media. And after all the scandals she's encountered, her brand has definitely taken a hit, with tons of people refusing to support her brand. It got so bad that the makeup company actually went through a rebrand recently, and now the company is just called KVD Vegan Beauty, with the initials no longer standing for Kat Von D, but instead now standing for Kindness, Vegan Beauty, and Discovery. So that's a bit of a slap in the face for Kat there. Next, at number 9, we have Devacurl. This is one you should know all about because Charlotte's covered it a few times on the channel. But in case you haven't seen it, here's the rundown. Basically, a ton of influencers and YouTubers have come out against Devacurl over the last few months, after tons of people reported having issues with their hair, some even dealing with hair loss. Most of the claims speak of hair loss and damage to their curl type and texture, but in more extreme cases, people reported scalp damage and even triggering of psoriasis. Aisha Malik is a curly-haired influencer who has been a long-time Devacurl user, and she's one of the first people that chose to speak out against the brand and share her story. She posted a video to her YouTube channel and it quickly went viral. She even spoke that the whole point of her making the video was to get people to stop using the product. And I would say she's been pretty successful here, with tons of people now throwing out their Devacurl products and coming forward with their own stories. Some of the victims have even come together on Facebook groups, where the women hope to support each other while they try to recover their hair, which is just incredibly sad that they even have to do that. And there's even a class action lawsuit that's been filed against Devacurl. The lawsuit was filed by a former Devacurl user, and now many former users are joining the lawsuit in hopes to recoup the damages they have endured. So I would say the social media cancellation that the brand has received has definitely hurt their sales, potentially forever. And honestly, hopefully forever. Next up at number 8, we have Pepsi. This is a scandal that was heard all around the world, with people making sure their opinions were heard on social media. Less than 24 hours after Pepsi released an ad starring Kendall Jenner to the internet, they were forced to take it down from the backlash they were facing. It was mostly because people involved in the Black Lives Matter movement felt that the ad was insensitive and was lessening their struggle. In the ad, you can see that Jenner is partaking in a photo shoot while some kind of riot is happening outside. Then she decides she should get involved and stop the violence between the rioters and the police by handing the cops a Pepsi. Pepsi was eventually forced to issue an apology, where they admit to missing the mark. And they also apologized to Kendall, who, if you forgot, faced some heavy backlash for being involved. I'm not sure if the actual sales of the drink suffered after this, but their image and squeaky clean brand rep definitely took a hit. In at number 7, we have Too Faced. So Too Faced has had a slew of scandals surrounding the brand's founder, Jared Blandino, and his sister. And plenty of them are beef with other makeup brand owners and makeup gurus. So one of the many issues the pair got into was when they insulted Jeffree Star by referring to his brand as clown makeup and said he is a pattern of lying. And then in a video, Jeffree even showed screenshots that Jared's sister was actually fighting with customers on the post and telling them they're not allowed to buy Too Faced anymore because they were defending Jeffree. And after this, everyone started canceling them for just being awful. And I can totally see why. Then they also got in hot water with Nicki Tutorials and her fans. The first bit of outrage happened after people discovered that Nicki was only being paid a measly $50,000 for the collab that she did with Too Faced back in the day, even though the brand made millions off the palette she sold. Then the hate intensified after Nicki tweeted about her problems with the brand. In short, saying that she had put the shady contract she signed behind her, but she will never forgive them for changing the quality behind her back and then hiding the many negative reviews from her. And then they were cancelled yet again when the owner's sister made some transphobic comments about Nicki. After this, the brand was forced to let her go. They also posted a tweet rejecting her statements and saying that they stand with Nicki. So after all this, plenty of fans of Jeffree's and Nicki's, which is millions of people by the way, will no longer purchase anything from the brand. So I guess Two-Face is a really good way to describe that pair. Next up at number 6 we have Chick-fil-a. Another infamous brand that is known for being cancelled but somehow always bounces back is Chick-fil-a. The brand is best known for having one of the best chicken sandwiches in all of America, some say, with people going crazy for their food and the sauces that they come with. But the brand has long come under fire for being against the LGBT community, as the company is rooted in Christian values. The restaurant is even closed on Sundays to prove how loyal they are to Christianity. And the company is known to have donated to anti-LGBT organizations in the past. Because of this, there's outrage anytime a new restaurant opens up. Even here in Toronto, when the first one opened up a few months back, there were protesters outside for like many days trying to not make the opening happen. But the brand has not been financially hurt by the cancellations, as a lot of people know about the brand's past and either don't care or are willing to look past it because the sandwiches are just so darn good. And I have to say, from trying it myself, I can kind of see the hype. Like they're quite delicious. Halfway through number 5, Dolce and Gabbana. Dolce & Gabbana is a brand that has been cancelled numerous times since social media was able to show us how scummy these two people are. Basically, the brand has suffered because co-owner Stefano Gabbana is very hot-headed and opinionated, and he is not smart enough to keep his nasty comments to himself. The biggest controversy came after a series of commercials that showed a Chinese woman struggling to eat pizza and spaghetti with chopsticks, which many people found racist. And that situation was made 1,000 times worse after screenshots were circulated online that appeared to show co-founder Stefano Gabbana making negative comments about China. But as an excuse for the nasty remarks, Gabbana brushed it off, saying that his account was actually just hacked. But after this, their sales did suffer, with a 3% decline in sales in Asia, which is significant as sales in all other regions increased. Then a completely random one that got them a lot of hate was when an Instagram posted a photo of Selena Gomez. Gabbana then unnecessarily called her ugly in the comment section, which is just so random and unnecessary. Like, he definitely deserves to be cancelled for that. He also threw some shade at Kate Moss, commenting again on another Instagram page that was asking yes or no to her and YSL. He straight up just commented no below. So after all this, I think we can all agree that the cancellation of Stefano Gabbana is probably well deserved. Then next up at number 4, we have Victoria's Secret. Victoria's Secret is another brand that has been involved in controversy and scandal because of comments made by an employee. Ed Razek, who was the controversial chief marketing officer at Victoria's Secret's parent company L Brands, in an interview with Vogue, Razek sparked backlash online after he made some controversial remarks. In the interview, Razek said he didn't think the lingerie brand's annual fashion show should feature transsexuals because the show is a fantasy, in his words. But after that, he wasn't fired, as the CEO of the company loved him way too much. Instead, he posted an apology, and that was that. But just a year after those statements, Ed announced that he was actually stepping down, which I think we all know means he actually got canned. And very shortly after his announcement, Valentina Sampaio seemingly announced via Instagram that she had been hired as the company's first openly transgender model. So I think I see a connection here with a transphobe being fired and then a trans model just appearing out of nowhere. Coincidence? I think not. And the company also decided that it was going to cancel its coveted fashion show that it hosts every year. The decision came after the company decided that its profits were not positively affected by the show, but many were saying that the low ratings of the show after all the backlash the company received was the real reason for the cancellation. And now the company is actually starting to close stores in tons of popular malls around the world. Not sure if it's all related to the social media backlash, but I'm sure it had somewhat of an impact. And at number 3 we have Kimono. If you've never heard of Kim Kardashian's shapewear line called Kimono, well, that's on purpose. The reality star had to completely change the name and branding of her shapewear after controversy exploded online that she was gonna call the brand Kimono. Many people accused Kim of cultural appropriation, as the kimono is of course a traditional garment worn in the Japanese culture, and people thought it was disrespectful she was gonna affiliate that name with shapewear. And back when I heard this, I completely agree. Since the brand is not influenced whatsoever by Japanese culture in any way, it's kind of ridiculous that she would name her brand that. After the announcement, #KimOhNo started trending on Twitter, and people became even angrier when they learned Kardashian applied for trademarks for her kimono lines, including variations on the name kimono. Even the mayor of Japan came out begging Kim to reconsider her name and trademark. Well, thankfully she listened and the brand is now named Skims, which is a way more fitting name for the brand anyways in my opinion. And at number 2 we have Peloton. Since this one happened so recently, I'm hoping most of you already know the sitch, but in summary, an ad came out for the spin bike that shows a woman being gifted the bike by her husband on Christmas. But after the ad dropped, plenty of people had problems with the ad and backlash started to spill onto Twitter. People claim that the ad is dripping in all sorts of problematic undertones. Some of the issues here is that the woman is already very thin before working out, and she lives in an immaculate minimalist home. Then when she realizes her gift is the bike, she seems low-key terrified of it and records herself using it, but we don't know who for. All of that left critics to point out what they think is inherent sexism in the ad. In my opinion, when I read about this one, I was confused about the outrage, like people are mad that a thin woman wants to work out and is rich. I don't know, it doesn't seem like something that a brand should be cancelled over, but this is one of those rare times that a brand was cancelled but it was actually able to come back from it, with sales actually increasing after the controversy. I guess the right people saw it and weren't offended. And finally at number 1 we have H&M. So H&M suffered major losses after a black boy was shown wearing a green hoodie that said "coolest monkey in the jungle." After this surfaced, many people were outraged at the choice to put a black boy in a hoodie with that text on it, and called for the brand to immediately take down the racist image. The brand ended up doing just that, and then apologizing for their mistakes and taking the actual item of clothing out of their product offering. After H&M took the right steps to rectify the scandal, they weren't actually able to fully recover. In the months following the controversy, their earnings actually took a huge hit. The clothing retailer had huge piles of unsold clothes worth more than $4 billion left over in their merchandise. Also, the sales of the company were at their lowest level it had been in 16 years, with the inventory being way up. So of course there was no way to actually know if the drop in sales has anything to do with the controversy, but it's very interesting to know the timing on this one. So that's all for the video. Hope you guys liked. Leave me some comments down below your thoughts, or if you think there's any that I missed that could be in a part 2. Thanks so much for watching guys, and I'll see you in the next one.